James, I want to go to the Victorian budget because it's interesting. All the people that the Premier has hit yesterday, and this is an ideologically motivated budget. This is owners of investment properties. This is middle Australia too. We're not talking about the top end of town. Medium to big businesses. Big business, yes, but they drive the jobs in the state. Private schools, again, going after the ideological hit there from Labor. The timber industry, that's a surprise because, of course, the CFMEU runs the timber industry in Victoria. All big losers. And these are the people predominantly in seats that voted for him at the election in November. He's got their vote. Now he's given them a whack.
Well, Peter, you know, at times like this, I'm reminded of the words of the great H.L. Mencken, an American writer about a century ago, who said that in a democracy, the people get what they deserve and what they want, and they get it good and hard. And that is exactly what's happening, I think, right now in Victoria. You know, these people voted for Dan Andrews. I'm sorry, you know, you didn't, but you're going to be part of that too. But it is just appalling, this hit list, you know, and it's not just, you know, big, you know, fancy private schools. It's all these low-fee private schools, which are very, very popular, especially with, you know, newer migrants to Australia and things like that. The timber thing is crazy. The whole thing about investment properties and holiday homes. And, of course, you know, the huge payroll tax levy that's going on large corporations, you know, the big ASX 100 types. And all of these are people and organizations that have a hard time moving. A school's not going to move to Adelaide. You know, a big business has to have population in or a you know, presence in Victoria. So he's got them just where he wants them. But every Victorian's got $70,000, I think it is, in debt now as a result of the pandemic spending spree, and very little to show for it, Peter.
Biggest debt in the country, Trudy, highest taxes in the country. We've got $4.5 billion now on property taxes. This, as I said before, is going after sort of low to middle income earners. This is not the people with their property in a trust. This is the nurse or the policeman who's got an investment unit. They'll be hit hard. And it's interesting. I listened to radio and I rang a couple of people in the real estate industry. People have already called in today saying, put it on the market. Just get rid of it. I can't afford it. I'm already struggling with my own mortgage. That's going to hit renters harder when the stock's reduced.
Well, I thought it was really interesting, Daniel Andrews today, in the federal connection to this, saying to Victorians, if you're going to be hit by this tax, if you can genuinely deduct it, go and deduct it from the federal coffers. And really interesting to see that and what that impact is on the federal budget for Jim Chalmers. The number crunchers say that this could actually be worth more than $2.5 billion in terms of these new Victorian deductions into the federal system over the next 4 years. As for the politics here, both Anthony Albanese and Jim Chalmers yet to be publicly pressed on whether they support this new tax grab, the implications it's going to have for Jim Chalmers' own budget bottom line. So that politics is fascinating between the two levels of Labor governments here.
You have just made an excellent point. You're right that the land tax hit in Victoria could be claimed against your income at the Commonwealth level. And so you're robbing one taxpayer to pay another. So the rest of the country, taxpayers across Australia, will be helping to bail out the taxpayers in Victoria hit by Daniel Andrews. Good on you, Trudy.